India says it wants to be a superpower, but here's the reality. While China is busy building radars that can detect and destroy America's most advanced stealth jets, India is still dreaming about building its first one. Just think about that for a second. China has radar systems that can see through the F-35 Lightning and F-22 Raptor's invisibility cloak, while India is just now sketching the blueprint for its own stealth fighter. India, I hate to break it to you, but you're about 20 years late. You're better off spending that money on building more toilets, fixing your pothole-ridden roads, building more housing, updating your rusty old electrical grid, and fixing your broken monsoon relief system. Last week, China showcased more than 100 state-of-the-art radar systems at the 11th World Radar Expo. But the real showstopper? A mobile meter-wave radar known as the JY-27V, developed by China Electronics Technology Group Corporation. This isn't just any radar, it's a stealth jet killer. According to Chinese media, this radar can detect U.S. fifth-gen fighters like the F-22 and F-35, aircraft designed to be practically invisible. And this isn't some theoretical capability, it's already here, working, mobile, and fast. The JY-27V can be deployed or packed up in just 10 minutes. Now contrast that with India. Only last week did New Delhi finally give the green light to begin developing its own fifth-generation stealth fighter, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, or AMCA. While China is detecting stealth jets from 250 kilometers away, India is still stuck at the starting line, celebrating a milestone approval for a plane that hasn't even been prototyped. It's quite embarrassing. China calls the JY-27V a master artist in detecting stealth targets. And honestly, that's not even an exaggeration. It uses a large, active, electronically scanned array working in the very high-frequency band, perfect for exposing the vulnerabilities of stealth aircraft. Add in AI-powered algorithms, a huge power aperture and lower frequency operations, and you've got a system that can not only detect, but also help destroy aircraft that were once thought to be undetectable. The Indians that celebrate this mere announcement as if they actually already built a stealth fighter jet reminds me of the time they celebrated and boasted about their BrahMos missiles. It was paraded as a symbol of national pride, but the reality was far less impressive. Despite the loud claims of it being world-class, the BrahMos is essentially a repackaged Russian P-800 Onyx missile, with India contributing little more than branding and some localization, with some people advising to smear cow dung over it for good luck and to increase its speed. Its hypersonic upgrade has been repeatedly delayed, and it still relies heavily on Russian components, exposing India's chronic dependency on foreign technology. The missile's actual combat utility is questionable. Its bulky size limits deployment options, especially from aircraft, and its range lags behind China's more advanced, domestically developed missile systems. Worse, India's military has had embarrassing incidents, including a BrahMos being accidentally fired into Pakistan in 2022, highlighting severe lapses in command and control. Instead of being a testament to Indian innovation, the BrahMos serves as a glaring reminder of how far the country still is from true technological self-reliance. Maybe they can achieve self-reliance by making rocket fuel out of cow dung. To understand just how far ahead China is, you need to know how stealth works and how radar beats it. Stealth aircraft use clever shaping and radar-absorbing materials to deflect or absorb radar waves, but here's the trick. This works best against higher-frequency radar, like the kind found in conventional systems. The longer wavelengths used by China's VHF and UHF radars, they punch right through stealth coatings like a hot knife through butter. India, meanwhile, is still clinging to a fleet that includes Soviet-era MiG-29S and MiG-21S that should have been retired 2 decades ago. It also flies French Rafales, which are okay, but not stealthy. But of course, in untrained hands it fails miserably, just as it did when the Indian Air Force flew over Pakistan and got shot down. The Tejas fighter jet, India's so-called pride of indigenous manufacturing, is still not fully battle-proven. It's actually the smallest fighter jet in active service, and the AMCA, it's just a concept for now, a dream, a hope, not a functioning aircraft, not a radar-evading superjet, not a threat to anyone. And here's where it gets even more embarrassing. China had already shown off a predecessor to the JY-27V, the JY-27A, back in 2016. That system, along with the YLC-8B UHF radar, could reportedly detect stealth jets from over 250 kilometers away. And that was nearly a decade ago. While India was still debating which foreign country to buy jets from, China was quietly building the technology to detect and neutralize them. It reminds me of the old saying, Indians prefer to talk, Chinese prefer to work. So when Indian officials now proudly claim that AMCA marks a turning point in the country's defense capabilities, it's hard not to roll your eyes. Just like when an Indian netizen tells you Bharat is already a superpower. This is less a turning point and more a game of catch-up. And the race started years ago. India's so-called self-reliance plan, or Atmanirbharta, may sound patriotic, but it's revealing just how dependent the country still is on imports. Even in recent clashes, like Operation Sindoor, India's response to a militant attack in Kashmir, it relied heavily on imported equipment or older systems. Sure, they deployed homegrown air defense systems like Akash and Akashtir, but let's be honest, these are short and medium-range solutions in a world where enemies are investing in long-range, stealth-enabled warfare. And if India's playing catch-up with China, it's completely outpaced when it comes to its other neighbor, Pakistan. Why? Because China has already supplied Pakistan with advanced gear, including PL-15 missiles, J-10C jets, and possibly even the stealth-capable J-35. India has no equivalent whatsoever. The AMCA was never meant to be 5th gen initially. According to experts like Air Vice Marshal Kapil Kak, India only shifted gears after realizing just how fast China had advanced, and how much of that tech was being passed to Pakistan. In other words, they panicked when they saw how advanced their neighbor's military had become. Even India's so-called military reforms in 2025, the year of transformation, look more symbolic than substantial when you consider the broader picture. China is building a fully integrated defense ecosystem, pairing stealth detection systems with missile systems, artificial intelligence, and real-time battlefield networks. India is patching together a defense program with aging jets, long development timelines, and public-private partnerships that still don't quite trust each other and are bogged down in painfully slow bureaucracy and red tape, slower than a tuk-tuk stuck behind a cow on a dusty road. And let's not forget the elephant in the room: cost. The AMCA program is expected to be enormously expensive, requiring years of investment before it even takes flight. And even then, will it be effective against radars like the JY-27V? Probably not, because stealth jets designed to evade short-wavelength radar can still be spotted by long-wavelength systems, unless they're built from scratch with that vulnerability in mind. And even then, it's no guarantee. And let's say that everything goes smoothly. Well, China and the rest of the world are still developing their systems, so India's jets may already be outdated as soon as they come into production. China didn't just build a radar, it built a warning to every stealth-obsessed military in the world. Your cloak of invisibility doesn't work here anymore. The era of invincible stealth jets is over, and China ended it. Meanwhile, India is still figuring out how to even build the cloak. So if India wants to be taken seriously, it needs to stop cheering every approval notice and start delivering real operational results. Not a press release, not a ribbon-cutting ceremony. A fighter that flies. A radar that works, a system that can compete with China's already deployed solutions. Until then, it's not even a fair fight. If you found this video eye-opening, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.